Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. So in this part, I know it's been many parts, but you can see that I need to overkill it. Even though the opposition is starting to concede, I need, they're continuing to concede really. I need to overkill this point. So here's the so-called beast mode. The word beast is a play on words for best A and also beta scramble. So they're ultimately betas because they don't have the heart to naturally rise up with universal pinpoint and moral precision in the divine order, right? So they're just trying to, they can't overcome themselves. As the Bible says, wickedness overthrows the sinner. So they've been overthrown by their wickedness. And their argument is similar to somebody who sits on the couch all day and they're out of shape and they're like, hey, well, I don't want to go through the stress of working out. And they think they should get the hot chick and so on and so forth. In their case, they every day, they're wicked every day, they're conformist every day, and they're cheating people, they're working the rape by deception angles, and they think that they deserve a hot chick and that the righteous should be suppressed, at least by their actions. That's what they're committing to, that philosophy. That kind of Masonic government, military, police philosophy of hyper-conformity. And it's not a coincidence that in the last video, they're shaped similarly to the people in this video, except for the nerd who's shaped like the Baphomet, which goes back to the book of Daniel, where the goat is said to be Greece. And the goat is a play on words for toga and tuge, and a lot of people argue that it means the greatest of all time. So these people in Greek societies and college, and these people who are in Greek culture, which is like, it's all Neo-Greco-Roman culture in the West, and it's affected the world as well. They're arguing that Greek culture, right, kind of Apollo, Zeus raping kids, okay, all the homosexuality there, whether you think it's okay or not, that's their argument, that it's magically, supposedly the greatest of all time. And you see how that clashes with Christianity. It clashes with Americanism, right? American is supposed to be a place where you're supposed to be free. Most of the West, if not all the West, is supposed to be part of the free world. They're not supposed to secretly try to elevate Greece because they trace their patriarchal lines there, because the Romans in the Greek tradition, Greco-Roman tradition, took over Europe and planted their customs there. They're not supposed to do that. And so you see the beast mode. Now, what is beast mode, right? America is supposed to be a place where we have a right to choose and to be informed, right? The information age, right? Should tech companies try to control how you think with information technology? Okay, I have a degree in IT, mind you. I can tell you with certainty. I'm not the top expert in IT, not by any measure, but I can tell you with certainty that they are trying to control how you think using information technology in coordination with brain hacking. I'm going to prove that in the next video. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and show you the proof there. There's an overwhelming amount of proof that they're hacking your brain. And it has to do with them trying to elevate the beast mode to kind of, think about MMA fighters. This is a great example. UFC, right? One of these guys used to jump up and down before a fight. They're amped, right? They're hyped. They're beasting, as it's called. They're beasting. It's like an animal, right? And before, human fights were very popular, there was dog fights and cock fights. And they were very popular. Okay. There was human fights too, but these dog fights and cock fights were more, and eventually it goes underground and people get in trouble for it and so on and so, because they're being treated like an animal. Right? It's a blood sport. It's two animals having at it, is the idea. And of course, you get the word animal from the word animus, meaning spirit, right? Animation. You had the animal-headed deities in Egypt and the Mesopotamia and otherwise. Okay, and animals were associated with Greek deities, right? The eagle and Zeus and the cock, and I believe it's been a while here. I believe that was either Mars or was Mercury. And the goat with Mercury, whose counterpart is Hermes. And Hermes and Aphrodite is where we get hermaphrodite. And of course, the Baphomet is a hermaphrodite. So the connections to Daniel and the connections to Hermes and Mercury, who is also a deity of markets and boundaries and guiding people's souls to the underworld. Okay, those connections are sound. So when we look at this thing and say, okay, who would win? Somebody who is faster than Ip Man and Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, right? Faster than them. Okay, faster than all three of them. More intense. Very calculating, very wise, very insightful, very discerning. Or somebody who's simply beasting, right? I would outmaneuver the UFC fighters in no time flat, cut off their head, they're dead, that's done. You see what I'm saying? And it's weapons first, right? That's why in terms of swords, knives, spears. I'd also beat him in a street fight if I was allowed to recover. That's a story for another day, right? With no rules. The rules are designed for someone who's beasting to take you to the ground, in the UFC, to take you to the ground and beat you up and tap you out and twist your arms and legs and, ankles and on and on and on, right? And triangle hold and all this stuff, right? They're designed for people shaped like the beast mode picture. People shaped like the Hades and the Superman and Spartacus and on and on and on.